Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Bailey Reserve. Coming up for you is some Premier Grade South Australian rugby action. It's Southern Suburbs taking on Port Adelaide. Beautiful, pristine conditions here in Bailey Reserve. Bit of a drizzle early on this morning, but seems to have clear skies all the way for the rest of today. Conditions on the ground are pretty good as well. No mud patches to be found, so should be pretty clean rugby. Southern Suburbs sitting pretty on top of the ladder with 2 wins against Onkers and Uni. As Port Adelaide coming off their first win of the season last week against Woodville. As the two teams make their way to the field. Joining us from Port Adelaide is Dave. As we get ready for kickoff here at Bailey Reserve. South will be kicking left to right of your screen. As mentioned before, Dave joining us today. Dave, what have we got in store for Port Adelaide? Coming off a win against Woodville?
Yeah, a bit of a big win. Look, half the side out there last week. So expecting a bigger turnout this week. It'll be good to have the teams rumble against each other. And I guess both games last year, Port just got up. So these are always good fixtures.
So we're just about to get underway, waiting for the referee's whistle here at Bailey Reserve. And we're underway here. Southern Suburbs looking to make it 3 from 3 in 2023 as Port take it in. Reynolds gets it out. Crash ball there. Bit unclean at the breakdown, and the penalty comes for Port Adelaide. 2 fairly big forward packs today for both teams. It'll be interesting to see what happens at set piece, at scrum time and the line out.
Yeah, both a bit eager early, but hopefully dust off a few of the cobwebs and get into some steady footy.
McCarthy takes a nice walk up there and we'll get it out just over the halfway mark for the first line out of the game. As mentioned before, South sitting on top of the Premier Grade ladder at the moment.
Look, both teams not known for their line out, so it'll be good to see how these work out. Great height from both, though.
A good throw, but South steal it. And making his way up the field there is Taporis over the 10-metre mark. Gilmore gets it out to Liddams. Liddams crashes the ball into that black and white defence. Not clean in the ruck there. Penalty advantage here for South. Gilmore really digging for the ball there. Gets it out to Grebenchikov. Now to Ronavuso. Ronavuso takes a step, beats one. Gets taken in by McCarthy. It looked like it was stolen there by McCarthy, and the penalty will come for South, just outside of the 22. Good defence so far from Port Adelaide, rushing up for South, and it looks like South's going to take the kick here.
Look, interesting for Port, like I said before. First time this group of 15 have probably played together all year, so hopefully we can get some momentum on that side. But South's done well to keep it down in this half and keep the pressure going and just catching them off their feet a bit from the offside line.
So that 3 points here would be a good start in the first couple of minutes of the game. Ronavuso has been pretty good with the boot so far for South. Had plenty of points against his name.
What do we see, 7 tries last week? 6 tries or something to his name?
Very much a key player for this Southern Suburbs team in 2023, as he has been the last few seasons, as he lines up for the kick here. Just outside the 22, bit of an angle. And I think he's just shot that to the left. The 22-metre drop out here for Port Adelaide.
Keen to see what side they go to. They've got a bit of a Jonah Lomu here in the 14 for South, so
Yeah.
probably want to keep the ball away from him as much as possible.
Yeah, South do have a pretty big backline over the last few seasons. It seems they will again this season as Sekiro takes it, and now here's Ronavuso. Gives it off to Grubenchikov, who takes one. A big hit there in centre field. There's now Gilmore. Gets it out. Popped off now.
Good hit.
And a good hit from Port Adelaide. They've been really solid in defence in the first 5 minutes. Now Ronavuso gets it out again to the other Ronavuso. It's 2 Ronavusos on the field today. South working their way up the field. As Yiting rumbles up past the halfway. Gilmore decides to go blind. A pop back inside to Sakura, makes his way over the 10-metre mark. Gilmore looks for the quick option, is taken in. Now Grubenchikov acting as half. Gives it off to Taparos, who fends one, fends another. Here goes Taparos, gives it off to Ronavuso, who's taken in. About 10 metres out now for South. Looking for the quick ball. The chip over the top there. And it's taken in just on the corner there by Henio. Defence there on South. It was Harry Ashby chipping that over the top. As now Reynolds just tries to slow it down a little bit. They're under pressure here, Port Adelaide.
Surprised they now didn't take that mark before, though. Just kept this side under pressure.
Now Reynolds looking for an exit option. Give him back to McCarthy, who will clear. Now going to Sekera. A little bit of magic feet there while he offloads it to Gilmore. Gilmore takes it in. Pop here from Tsaporis as he rumbles up past the 22. Ball's there for Gilmore. He looks blind. Gives it off to Grubenchikov, who pops it back inside to Ronavuso. Now Gilmore goes blind again. Offload to Grubenchikov. Another offload. Sam Rowe this time, and he's taken over the try line, but it's gone dead.
It's foot out.
Oh, it's foot out in touch. Beautiful offload there by Gilmore just in time. But Sam Rowe just can't get over in time, and Port roll him out of play.
Port's already been caught scrambling early, so obviously a bit of off-season fitness is starting to show already.
Looks like it's a goal line dropout for Port Adelaide. And they've held up well so far, but they'll have to try again as McCarthy sends it out on the full. So it looks like it's going to be a scrum for South at the 5-metre mark. It's the first scrum of the game, and Port Adelaide again, bit of a poor mistake putting them under pressure again.
Look, I mentioned it earlier, but like that mark down here in the 22, I think it's just caught them off guard a little bit. It's just kept them under the pressure in their own 10. So some of that decision making is really key, obviously.
So first time of the game goes well for South. There's now Gilmore. That's the 10, and it looks like it's going to be a kick to the corner for Rowe, but he just won't get there in time as it bounces out of play. So a chance to exit here for Port Adelaide. Grubenchikov, I think he had the right idea going to the corner there. I think Rowe just didn't get there in time. Port goes short off the line out. Give him back inside, and now they're starting to put South under some pressure.
Great run by Monda.
Great run there from Monda. Scrappy ball out of the ruck, but they've got a penalty advantage here. Now here's McCarthy. Takes a couple with him. And now going for a run is Kendrara. Chips it over. Candaro soccers it along the ground. Oh, but he's taken out.
Taken out.
No call there from the ref. Oh, there comes the penalty. Mahuta Candara with a brilliant run there. Chips over the top of the fullback. And he was on track to get that ball if he wasn't taken out.
Just catches a little nudge on the shoulder right about here. Bang.
Yep. So Port Adelaide, they've quickly made their way into South's 22. Looks like they're going to be taking the scrum. It's the first attacking scrum for Port Adelaide. They seem to hold it well in the 5 metre mark earlier on against South, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes here. First real attacking play for Port Adelaide in the first 10 minutes.
I think both teams showing some really good free flow footy. It's just about sometimes the bounce and that last little catch there that might get them over the line. So, scrum standing up.
Well, but the penalty will come for Port Adelaide there at scrum time. It looks like they've tapped. They'll make their way up the field. About 10 or 15 metres out now. Reynolds just assessing his options. Giving off to Kare. Reynolds out to McCarthy now. It's backs ball here for Bo. Now Henio. Oh, but a poor offload there, but it's managed to be taken in by Candara. But the ref will come back for the knock-on. There's a knock-on for South by the looks of it. Yeah, knock-on for South, so Port get another scrum just at the 22 metre mark, it looks like, from here. Down on the 22, about left of centre field for Port. It's 10 minutes gone. It remains scoreless so far, but there's been some good attacking rugby from both sides so far. Port's defence managed to hold up solid despite themselves putting themselves under some pressure. Let's see how Souths go under pressure here. A much better scrum from Port Adelaide there as it comes out quickly for McCarthy. McCarthy takes it in. No one at the back there for Port. Van Murik goes himself. Ooh, tries the flick pass, but it doesn't go. And Gabrenchikov will clear. Looks like the referee's going to come back for the forward pass, though.
Yeah, South showing a really good scrum early. Obviously good to maintain that throughout the game.
Oh, tried a little bit of a Sonny Bill Williams there, but it didn't really come off.
Sonny kill.
The scrum for South just outside the 22. Good scrum for South
Great
there.
scrum from South.
Clean ball for Gilmore as Gabrenchikov will send it out to the centres. Now South looking to exit. Exit by running it, but a bit of a wayward pass, and Port Adelaide will get a line out just outside the 22.
I was really keen to see him take that ball up, number 14. We don't have a name for him, do we?
Not at the moment.
But yeah, look, that Port scrum's already buckling a little bit early. South is doing well to just keep it firm and move forward. Some strong front rowers this year for South, so...
It doesn't look like on their attacking ball they're really trying to drive it. It looks like they're trying to get quick ball out.
Yep.
Good strong drive there from South, but it's out the back there for Carey. Taken back inside by Reynolds, who just grubbers it along the ground there. Now Grebenchikov recovers and will try to chip it over the top as carried. A good take.
Kept the leg out.
He got the leg out. Yeah, it looks...
It should be a port ball there.
Should be a port ball, but it doesn't look like it will be, unfortunately.
Deliberations between the refs.
Oh. What a take there.
Okay.
It will be a South ball.
He's called that his legs were in the air when he took the ball.
Ah, okay. There's some talk here from the referee. It's going up at
Great
4.
lift at 4.
As Gilmore meets a solid Port defence. Looks like they're going to go for a pick and drive here with Stanovic.
Looks like South have made some real improvements on that height in the lineouts. They're getting quite...
Now here's that winger for the
There
South
he
we were
is.
mentioning earlier. Good run up the field to the 10-metre mark. Gilmore goes right back to Stanjetovic. It's a bit of a mouthful, that name, isn't it? And now South making their way to the left as Ronavuso gets past one.
What a break.
Offloads, bit of a
Gone forward, no.
shoddy offload, but
Arm stays down. Well
Sakura will continue to rumble up the field.
done. Try.
And South will score first.
Well done. There's that open passage of play we were talking about earlier. Just that free flow footy.
The pass, looked well forward there to me, but got to play to the whistle, and Sakura strikes while the iron is hot. And gets South's first points on the board.
Good to note as well, a lot of these South boys turning up for the State Black Falcons last year, so good to see some of the leadership come through, and hopefully they can push for that top 4 this year.
I think they just missed out last year.
And it was actually Port taking the 2 games against them last year as well, so always good games.
South have been a real sort of team that's really pushing the usual top 4 sides.
Yeah.
They've really sort of improved as the years have gone along. The juniors are starting to get a lot stronger, so a lot of those players are coming through as well.
Exactly. Well, I think it's good for the competition. You've got your Brightons, Old Coles, Burnside, Onka Paringa as well. Traditionally within that top 4-5, so...
Now you've also got Elizabeth that's a real contender this year.
As well. And look, Port just missed out last year, and it's good to see quality of footy is coming out of Souths over the years.
So conversion missed there for Souths, and it will remain 5-0. Nearly a quarter of the way through the 80 minutes we have on offer today. Seen some good rugby so far from both sides, but interesting to see how Port Adelaide can react here.
Good kick.
And a great kick, but Reynolds just can't recover it. South's not really reacting too flash there to that one, but unfortunately knocked on by Reynolds, so
I'm sure they're not going to mind scrum time.
Yeah. So scrum just in between the 22 and the 10-metre mark on the near side here to us. And strong so far in the scrum, but they seem to hold it firmly on attack as Gilmore feeds it in.
Great shot from South again.
A brilliant scrum as Grebenchikov
showing the experience. Here
chips over the top, tries to get it to Ronavuso, but it's taken in by Asara Ronavuso, who makes his way over the 10-metre mark on the far side. Pick and go here for South. There's now a row just outside the 22. Pick and go by Harry Ashby. Offloads it down to Gunnar Sakura.
Well done.
And a brilliant try there. Brilliant try there for South. Some absolute champagne rugby. And they get the second try of the day.
Look, they just caught Port off guard there a bit. Port struggled to really bounce back from that scrum and that kick. Barwo just knocked it on a bit earlier, but you can see here just a quick ball from the back and just moving through.
Some good support there from South as well.
And you'll see here, they just get caught out with the numbers on that left side.
Seems as if that's probably where South will get most of their points today, on that sort of open play and Port trying to scramble back. That's where both tries have come from so far. Was Thomas Klopf scoring that try for South.
Reward for piggies when you chase.
This now looks like Gorenchkov will kick this one out wide. And it's a decent kick. I think he just shot it wide, so it remains 10-0 here. Almost 20 minutes gone here at Baylor Reserve. 2 tries and open play for South so far.
Yeah, I think Port's just already showing early signs of fatigue, and 20 minutes into the game, we totally get it's only round 3, but on the flip side, I think South are doing really well to keep the foot in the throat, keep the momentum, keep the pace. It's eventually what will run these teams off the field.
Interesting to see if they go for a similar option here, but he won't, as McCarthy sends it high. Gilmore takes it in. Oh, it's a good turnover there for Port Adelaide. Now they're starting to rumble. Here's Monda. Rumbling up the field. Another pick and drive here for Port. They rumble their way into the 22. Here's Carre, who gives it off to P. Gardner. And, oh, he's met by some solid South defence.
Probably regrets that run.
Bit of a hospital ball, but Port just working their way up. They're just at the 22-metre mark now as Carre again looking for an offload. Back to Gardner.
Ball's probably just a bit too slow, giving South a bit of time to move up, reset their defensive line.
Now Reynolds goes out to the right. McCarthy chips over the South defence, but Ronavuso will be there to meet it.
What's it called here? Offside?
Looks like it will be.
What's he?
There's a few players down at the moment
Penalty,
for
offside.
Port. Yep, penalty will come for Port, and they will take the shot right out in front.
Good option, I think, as the game goes on. Give some of the piggies a bit of a rest.
Just start to gain that momentum back as well.
Yeah.
Get some points on the board. Just over 20 minutes gone.
Well, I think that turnover ball was really good, but they are struggling to get off the line. I think South have just kept the pace up right from the beginning. As the game settles, obviously, hopefully it slows down.
Seems as if they went to sleep a little bit at that breakdown and Port just capitalised, and now here they are with a shot out front. Looks like it's going to be Reynolds that's taking it. Should be able to get this one pretty easily, if I haven't just given him the commentator's curse. But he will do. So Port Adelaide hit the board. South still remain in the lead, but it's only a converted try difference now. 10 points to 3. Just over 22 minutes gone. Waiting for Russo does get the proceedings underway once again. He kicks to the far side here. Taken in by Port cleanly.
Ooh, slight knock on.
Slight knock on at the breakdown there. And it will be a South scrum just over the 10-metre mark.
Look, you would think they've got a bit of confidence now with these scrums. They've managed to push them back even on the Port ball, so I'm sure they're not too fussed with this one.
It's Tapras ripping that ball there off carry. Another South scrum. They've been strong so far. Can they keep this up? Gilmore feeds it in. Solid scrum there from both teams. Now.
Great move.
Great ball to Ronavuso. He'll chip it over the top. Can he get the bounce? No, he won't. Oh.
Ken's running through.
Ken Darragh now. Met by Ashby, who tries to get his hands on the ball there, but pick and drive there as Ashby's back on the ball again. Good clean out from Port here. As now Reynolds will just box kick it over, but there was a penalty advantage there for Port, so opportunity to clear.
High tackle.
Yeah, a bit high there from Ashby.
I think it's this Stefanovic tackle right here. Oh no, it's just before this.
Yeah.
A lot of shoulder contact, but he did wrap his arms around, so there was intent.
Yeah, there's been a heavy emphasis this year on tackle heights in community rugby, so it doesn't seem to have changed much for South Australia so far.
We catch the laws a little bit late here.
I think it's more of a thing that's happening in the Northern Hemisphere by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
The ball comes to Madden, but not straight. An unforced error here for Port, and it looks like South might take the scrum, I'd bet.
You would think so. They did well with the last one to just keep it steady. And a lot of time on the attacking scrum as well, that's probably all you need, is just hit, stick, make sure the ball comes back to the feet of the 8.
They've managed to get it back pretty quickly as well. So,
and then on the flip side, when it's a defensive, that's where you really see their shunts come through.
Gilmore feeds it in.
There it is, just to keeping it steady.
And clean ball, that's good. Menchikov. Oh, and a mistake there from South. Oh, but it looks like it was a penalty advantage.
Not keeping bound in that last scrum there. You can see his knees there from Monitor just hitting the ground towards the end. Not keeping his bind.
So another opportunity for South to strike here as Russo looks like he'll get this inside the 22. So a line out about 15, 20 metres out. It's been a bit messy at line out for both sides.
It has, but I think Souths are doing really well to just keep a platform for their backs. You know, they're winning a lot of the ball. They're clearing out really well. Those scrums are going really well. So Port are just probably a little bit slow, and you're probably already seeing the signs of the gas coming out. And yeah, just interesting to see how long they can hold the pressure. Just starting to see some cracks on Port's forward pack at the moment. Great height again.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to go for a drive, but called not straight by a referee. No, the referee, rather. It's a good opportunity gone to waste there by Souths.
As I mentioned before, though, you'll probably see a bit more of a shove here from Souths.
Yeah, it's just outside the channel.
Don't want to win this one back. And rightly so, scrums as a prop, it should be your bread and butter. Especially when you're winning them like this.
Gives some of those loose forwards a bit of a rest as well.
Let's see what they do here.
Here comes
Yeah,
the
you can
shove
see
from
that shove.
South.
Well done.
The ball pops out for Reynolds, who's taken by Gilmore. South's reacting quickly, but Port trying to
Get that
exit.
ball out.
Trying to exit via the back line. So now here they are again. It looks like Bo's taken that one in. Now to the open side here for Port. Good, strong defence here from South. Reynolds box kicks it up. Oh, it looks like it was a penalty advantage for Port there for offside, so South's really putting some pressure on Port there in their red zone. But a few offsides now for South have cost them.
Yeah, I think Port's been let off with the discipline of South here and just takes a couple extra steps. Oh, here we go.
Here we go. It doesn't look like that was taken out as now here comes South.
Ooh,
Big run
contact
from the wing. The Porter over that one.
Ball's out there.
Ball's out. So Earnshaw dived on that one and Gilmore gets it out. Urenchikov goes for a run himself. Over the 22-metre mark. Oh, and a penalty will come. Yet again, the discipline of South letting them down. Good turnover there for Port and chance to exit.
Good learning for South here. I think they're just getting a bit too eager. Probably need to play a bit more patiently. You can see their forwards are really itching to just get the ball and run. And
they're really
execution.
Very trying for that jackal as well. Ashby's getting real itchy to get that ball back for South, especially in this red zone.
South are setting up a really tight back line here.
Well, there's 4 at the line out here, so really packed in at the back line. Oh, over the top again. A mistake there from Port. And Tsaparis takes it in. He pounced on that opportunity. And now another opportunity for South to strike. Oh, poor mistake there. Just as they were starting to get wide, as Rowe takes it in. Doesn't look like there was a knock-on or a forward pass there, so South will carry on with the attack. Rumenchikov pops it off.
Good hit.
Good solid defence from Port Adelaide. Good solid defence from both sides actually today as well, so far. Gilmore just struggling to get that ball out of the ruck. As now here's Grubenchikov again.
Great rush defence from Port.
Now McCarthy with solid defence there. Gilmore looks to the right again as now here comes Yeading.
South have got the numbers here on this right side if they can just draw and pass.
Ronavuso bumps it off. Oh, doesn't manage to get there, but a penalty for South. South just don't seem to be reacting enough to the Port's defence. As if the Ronavuso didn't manage to pop that one off. It would have been try time.
As I mentioned before, I think they're playing a little bit too eager. You know, you just needed the receiver there just need to take an extra step back, not get too excited. And, you know, that's probably what those top 2 teams are really doing is executing on those break plays, getting a little bit deeper.
Especially at the breakdown, both teams are really scrambling.
Plus, I think I'm a bit selfish. I just want to see this 14 get the ball. Haven't really seen him make a run yet, but a couple of them likes to take the contact. And the winger in his side, by no means, isn't small, but he's probably double the size of him. So.
So line out for South. 15 metres out. As mentioned before, it's been pretty poor at line out for both sides, but another opportunity here for South. And this time it works as they'll go down for a maul, but
What's it called this time?
penalty.
Channing.
Oh, from Port.
Against Port. Look, they got marched back twice last week for this and gave away a try to Woodville, so I'm sure they're going to be disappointed. They'll hear about it at halftime.
Looks like they're going to go for a scrum.
Keen to see if they can shove this all the way.
Shame about that. I was looking forward to seeing a good maul off the line out.
I'm sure it'll come. They've got them all. South have definitely shown that over the years.
Gilmore feeds it in. Solid again from both teams. Now, Ronovus
Here we go. Ooh.
taken in. Gilmore wants it. Goes himself. Oh, good hit there from Port. Offload is there to Liddams.
There's a slight drop there, but he's let it go.
Takes a few of them to get down. Ball's available for Gilmore. Out to the right. Plop will take one. A good hit there. Now here's Grubenchikov. Driving towards the try line of South. Port's defence holding solid so far. Good pick and drive there. Will it be given? Referee's having a chat to his linesman. And the try will be given. Solid work there from South. They managed to keep patience, slow it down, and the points have come. Port just not reacting a little bit quick enough.
Oh, there's definitely cracks. There's definitely cracks in their defensive line. I think they're blowing the big ones. South have done well to capitalise on it and just keep the pace going. I think that's what's keeping them ahead is their pace on the attack. Now with a couple of tries ahead, hopefully they just settle and get right, ease into the game a little bit more. They're probably rushing it still a bit, South.
Yeah, Port are struggling to sort of scramble back in defence. That's what's cost them 3 tries so far. As Ronavuso looks to make this 5-pointer into 7. Some tough kicks so far for both Ronavuso and Grubenchikov. This one looks pretty good. And he will convert this one. So about 4.5 minutes, or 3.5 minutes rather, left in the first half. South's leading Port Adelaide 17 points to 3. It's been some good solid rugby so far. But South just managed to capitalise on the poor scramble defence of Port Adelaide.
Both crowds getting right into it. But look, I think if South just keep it in that half, I don't think they're going to have too many problems with getting up on this one.
It's now Port Adelaide kicking off here.
Great kick.
Nice and high. And a great take by Taparis, who's caught in the air.
Definitely.
So a penalty advantage here for South.
Interested to see if there's a card that comes with that one. No eyes for the ball.
Just a penalty at the moment. Referee's having a chat.
Pen only.
It was a great type by Taparis in the area. So just a penalty for South as they head over the halfway mark for a line out on this near side.
I think Porter just got to make sure they don't let that get into their heads and just keep cool, calm head.
Quick ball to Ashby there as Gilmore gives it off.
Oh.
In centre field now, South just outside of their halfway.
Oh, he's stolen it.
Oh, but a penalty for Port Adelaide.
Got a man down over here.
Looks like McCarthy's down. No? Ewan Cameron's down. Port Adelaide.
Oh. And that's what you want from your captain, is just stepping up. A couple of minutes left in the half. Give the boys a bit of inspiration.
Opportunity to get a try on the board just before half time as well. About a minute left once this line out is set. It's only 2 converted tries between them, so a try here for Port would set them up nicely for a bit of a second half comeback. Cameron stays on the field as
Good take.
a good take by Jackson, who just feeds it roughly off the top there, but
Yeah.
and the scrum is called for South. Knock on.
This is where the execution is critical there. He's done well to take it off the top, but it's just thrown a little bit over the half's head. Put his team back on the back foot.
I think maybe in that instance he should have taken it in off the line out.
Yeah. You're starting to see the frustration with Port there. The concern from here is that it just turns into ill discipline and, you know, lazy tackles and things like that. And they've got to really do well to just keep their heads in there. Stay calm, know that there's another half of footy to play.
So we're just about to hit the final play of this
Numbers
half.
here.
There's a brilliant ball there from Gabenchikov over to Ronavuso. Ronavuso dummies and goes and then gives it off to the winger.
Oh,
Good run as they're
great
just
take.
outside the 22 now. Brilliant move there from South. As now here they look
Catching
to go
the ball
again.
offside.
Good ball taken in by Klopp. Now Gilmore looks to go himself. Met by the Port defence.
Surprised we didn't see an arm there. A few of them were still retreating from Port.
Now the pick and go from Lidhams. Rumbling up to the 5 metre mark. South go again with a pick and drive.
Ooh,
Offside
there's the
called.
offside.
Looked like a good jackal there from Port. But the penalty advantage was there for offside. So I'm interesting to see what South do here. There's wins to the red time.
Well done to Ewan Cameron for taking that steal. He also played a full game of reserve, so
Looks like South will go for the scrum here, which has worked for them so far. So a smart choice to go for it again.
look, they're obviously confident in their scrum. Let's just hope they don't regret it later with a knock-on or kicking it dead.
Gilmore feeds it in. Another
Keeps
solid
it steady.
scrum for South as they look for the
Oh.
8 pick. Now here's Clough, gives it up to Gilmore. Gilmore over the top to the
Oh.
wing.
What's he going to do?
Oh, met by some solid
Oh.
defence, but he manages to get over. But is the referee calling a forward?
No,
Yes,
forward
he is.
pass.
And that will be half-time. So Port, bit of a let-off there for them. It was a good set-piece move with Clough picking it up at 8. Gilmore with a cut-out pass over the top to the wing.
And let's hope that choice to not take the 3 doesn't come back to bite them in the end.
The referee called it forward. And that match-up there between the two wingers there,
It's a good one, isn't
it's
it?
a good one.
Both keeping each other out.
But that will see us into half-time. It's Southern Suburbs leading Port Adelaide here at Bailey Reserve, 17 points to 3. The referee's just having a chat to the captains here.
Front rowers.
Front rowers. All right, so we'll take a break here at Bailey Reserves. It's Southern Suburbs leading Port Adelaide 17 points to 3. Welcome back to Bailey Reserve. South leading Port Adelaide 17 points to 3. So far it's been a real tight game of rugby. Some good solid defence from both sides. Some good running play as well. But South's just getting the edge over Port so far.
Yeah, South with one change there. I think the contact is, you know, we're definitely not going to fall short when it comes to contact with this half. There's a lot of big bodies out there, which is good.
Just waiting for the referee to get us underway here for the second half here at Bailey Reserve. And we're underway here. Port kicking off to South, and it's taken in by Ashby, who's driven over the 22, but manages to hold his feet and take it in. Now Gilmore. Off to Gravenchikov.
Again, they got the
numbers. Sends
numbers.
it wide.
Straighten up.
No,
Oh,
he's
dropped it.
and he's dropped it there, and now Port with an opportunity to strike.
Yeah, just straighten up now.
Needs to straighten up as he's taken in there. Port with a great opportunity here for some points early on in the second half. Just rumbling up. Oh, but a good counter ruck there from South. And they'll manage to steal it, but the penalty will come. Bit messy there at the breakdown.
Yeah, I don't know if they got the boot for this one. Oh, they want to play it quick.
Oh, as here comes Port. Rumbling up over halfway. It's being held up there by South. Doesn't look like a maul was called. Now Reynolds giving it out.
Here we go.
Oh, and here goes Gardner. Pete Gardner going for a run himself.
There he is.
Taken up just behind the 5 metre mark. Now Reynolds goes himself.
Great
Taken in. Another pick and drive here. Port looking dangerous early in the second half. Another pick and drive for Port. Heading towards centre field. Oh, and a drop ball there for Port.
Oh,
no knock on called.
Called it.
Play on. Here comes Port. Rumbling up over. And there's the try. Try is given. Port is on the board early.
Look, they've gotten away with that one. There was a little bit of a drop there from Sungaru, but he seems to have missed it and has given them the 5.
It doesn't look like it went forward, to be honest. Not given there. Gardner dived on it. South didn't react.
Look, if it's not a knock on, it's an offside. Retreating the ball from the front. Hanau's done really well, if you can see here. Shaking them off. Plants it there.
So Port strike early.
Great start from Port.
Didn't see whether they got the conversion there or not.
Penalty try.
Oh, it was a penalty try, so Port strike early, and it's 17 points to 10. And South kick off. Sent in deep to the 22.
Mitchell on the wind-up.
And taken in there, near the touchline on the far side. It's now Reynolds. Given off and
great
crash ball in by their Kare.
South have just got to be a little bit careful with that contact. The last couple they've just bounced over the tackle. Making sure they don't get pinged for bouncing over, going off their feet.
As Reynolds will clear with the box here now. Arlo going for a run himself in midfield.
Done well to contain him there. They do have the numbers on this left side. If they can manage to just...
Good jackal there from Pete Gardner, but the penalty will come. Penalty just over the halfway mark for South.
Oh, not rolling away.
Not rolling away there. Some good counter-racking there from Pete Gardner.
Yeah, those ones are difficult when you get caught right in the middle of contact.
So just in between the 22 and the 10 metre mark here for South. Yeah, it was a penalty try. That was given there earlier on. So it's been pretty messy at line-out time, and it remains the same as now. The clearance from Port. Big boot sends it down.
Does he land it? Oh, it's gone into the 22.
Has he gone to the... Has he got a 50-22 there?
Let's see where he calls this. He's going to land just outside.
Oh.
Still, that's a good kick.
That is a good kick. I think if it was a 50-22, that'd be the first one I've seen on the live stream.
People forget, even though he's got an 8 on his back, he has played 10-12 most of his life, so nice to see an 8 with a boot.
So again, South's pretty messy at line-out time as Gilmore takes it in. Looks like they're going to go for a pick and drive on the blind side here.
Hands up.
And the hands are up. It's a penalty for Port. And it looks like they'll go quick.
No.
Maybe not. Oh, great counter ruck again from Cameron.
Again, for a guy who's already played a reserve grade game, starting at number 6.
Yeah, brilliant work at the counter ruck there.
He's done well.
So putting a lot of pressure on South early here.
Oh,
and they will go for the tap. Monda takes it up. Meets some solid South's defence. Quick ball for Reynolds. Taken up by Cowray. Just outside the 22.
Good platform. Doesn't have the support,
now here comes
though.
Sagari. Over the 22. Stanovic trying to counter ruck. And the penalty will come.
Didn't have the support that he needed.
Stanovic getting the counter ruck.
Well done to Stephen there.
Good defence from South. And the penalty for not releasing will come. So just as Ronavuso looks to send this one into touch, we'll just take a quick look at some scores around the ground. So Burnside getting up against Uni. Looks like it finished there 34-14. And then it looks like Brighton are currently up against Elizabeth at home 19-5. And Onkers are leading Woodville 38 points to 7 as Gilmore sends it to Grebenchikov off a good clean line out there from Ashby.
Ooh.
Now Rowe. Rumbles over the halfway mark. Gilmore. Good clean ball. Stanovic.
Loves the contact. He's over it. Oh.
Good
Here we
rucking
go.
there at the breakdown. Now here comes South. Yeating.
Great running.
Given off and taken in over the 10-metre mark. Now, South's again rumbling up the field. Gilmore out to the right. Given off by Rowe. Now here's Stanovic again.
Minute pass it.
Tucks it under his wing and goes over the 22-metre mark.
Has he ripped that? No. Oh,
No, he hasn't.
kept his arm in.
Oh, but
Well done.
playing it on the ground, looks like. Port being let off there. Some good play there from South.
Look, it's an interesting one. They were both off their feet there.
50-50 call, but Port will clear it.
It's good to see. I think Port's come out with a bit more fire this half. And these are the usual Port-South games that we like to see. So keen to see how it goes down to the wire in the last 5-10.
I think early on with that penalty try as well, they might be smelling a little bit of weakness in the South defence, and they seem to be capitalising on it so far. So
Both
line out
sides
for Port Adelaide here.
Getting right into that contact too. Which is always good to see. You want that for your pigs.
A one-man lift, and Reynolds will get it.
Here we go.
Now into midfield.
There we go.
Bit of an overlap here for Port Adelaide if they can capitalise on it. Oh, and a good tackle there.
Great
From
tackle.
Masai Ronavuso. There's some exciting play, but a great tackle there from Masai Ronavuso. We'll get the scrum for South. Exciting stuff here with Baylor Reserve.
Well, I was really pleased with that. I think over the past few years, both Port and South like to get into the nitty-gritty, and it was actually really good to see a bit of professionalism from the two wingers there and just keeping their cool.
So it looks like Souths have made some changes as well.
Ooh,
The number 8 position. Looks like they've brought their blindside flanker off. Clough looks like he's not into blindside flank, and the number 19 has come on.
Mayday call. Seems to be a loud one.
Yeah. The referee will proceed with the Mayday procedure. Looks like everyone's all right.
Bit slow to get up there. Good to see the sportsmanship here. I think safety is always first with rugby, so always a bit concerning, but at the same time, I think it's what creates a lot of respect around the world for the game of rugby is what our front row go through in these scrums.
Yeah, and especially that Mayday call, it's a very important thing to learn at scrum time for new players. I always remember one of the first things I learned as a forward was the Mayday call.
Exactly.
All players are to remain on the ground until the referee clears them out, starting from back to front.
Yep. And it's not until you're right in there that you start to really understand what goes into the scrums with head placement, chest, your knees, making sure that they're low to the ground and not straightened out and getting your back right.
Looks like everything's all good, and we'll proceed as per usual. South with the scrum. Just over the halfway mark here on this near side. A good solid scrum there, and the 8 pick comes as they rumble past up the 10-metre mark. Ball's there for Gilmore. He wants it quickly. Sends it out to Ronavuso. Now here's Rowe. Having a run himself, goes over the 22-metre mark. Gilmore back inside to Grebenchikov. Gilmore again takes it.
Oh, he
here
runs
comes
up
the number
again.
19 as he rumbles past that defence. Ashby picks and goes.
Bit of contact from offside, but
Gilmore gives it off to Ronavuso, who'll go himself and dives in for the try. Slava Ronavuso gets another one to his name in 2023.
well done. And I think, look, to be fair, that was probably all set up by Ben Gilmore there. The pace on that halfback to just get the ball out quickly. Port were just scrambling and they couldn't get onside on time.
Ben Gilmore, he went through South Juniors as a halfback. Worked his way up the grades and is providing some real good service for the Premier grade here of Souths. We're really building something strong here.
Important to note as well, a lot of experience with this Souths team. They're coached by Chris Graham, who's looking after the state program, and a handful of these players running around from the last year in the NRC Division 2, or the Australian Shield is what they call it. So Ben Gilmore is definitely a member of that, and you can see a lot of them have just grown in their confidence over the last couple of years, and that's probably what's seen a lot of their success. They're definitely a team to beat this year.
And Chris being joined with a strong coaching team of Gareth Atkinson and Jason Harding as Ronavuso converts that one. Separate it back to a 2 converted try scorer. Southern Suburbs leading 24 points to 10 over Port Adelaide. So we're just about to hit the 15-minute mark of this second half. Yeah, just talking about the Souths coaching team. Yeah, Gareth Atkinson and Jason Harding. 2 guys who have been really strong in the under-18s competition as a coach for both Brighton and Onkaparinga respectively have come in this year for Souths. Both of them will be coaching in the schoolboys team as well.
There you go. So they're not short on the experience with technique and the coaching. It's really important. Probably the other quick mention is special mention to our new referee sponsor, Byron Stay. Who've come in and really helped out, and great to see a number of referees chatting to Tristan there at halftime. I think we've seen an uplift of about 10 or 15 referees this year and throughout SA, so good to see them growing in their numbers there as well.
Yeah, they're a very important part of our game, our referees. It looks like it's a South line out. And they'll take it quickly. Ashby off the top to Gilmore.
Interesting there. Port looks to have
a free kick there.
Yeah, Port's given up on their lift and that defensive line out.
But they get the short arm penalty.
Don't think they're gone for a scrum. We'll see a wind up here. There you go.
There's a tap and go from Port here. Tackle held up and just pushed outside the 22. Reynolds asking some questions there, but it's given off to Sagari. Offload there for Port.
Ooh.
Or tried another offload. Danielson there trying his charm as now Reynolds goes back to the blind side.
Oh.
Matten takes it in. Oh, just coughs it up. And now here's Arlo. Beats one. Beats another. Beats a third. And he's taken down there by Carey in midfield. Gilmore giving out to Stanovic, who...
Great rush from that defence line. Here's the danger man. Oh.
Gilmore out to the left, giving off to Ronavuso, who will kick it to the 22.
Ooh.
It's taken in by Kendara. Is now into midfield and up the field they go. Port Adelaide on the counter here. Met by the South's defence just outside the 10-metre mark.
Great
the
pressure.
Pick and go.
Great pressure.
Pass looked a bit
yes.
forward there. Oh, but the penalty will come for a high tackle. Danielson, he had acres of space there if that pass had come off.
Goes to show the clean-out technique is crucial. You can see it in the international game, penalising it a lot. Guys getting sent off as well, so get it right in the grassroots.
And that ball will be sent out on the 10-metre mark on this near side. As the sun starts to set here at Baylor Reserve, it's managed to stay relatively cool. I couldn't imagine it would be too cool out there on the pitch. But it's Monda taking the line out here.
A lot of movement in that line out.
Up at 2 and taken in
Great
by Reynolds,
pressure.
but Ashby rushes up in defence.
Ball's there.
Ball's there for Port. They try the pick and drive. Solid
straight back
defence
in.
there from South.
Petitioning for a penalty here.
On a knock on there from Port Adelaide at the ruck.
Look, it's one of those things, if you can get away with it, then so be it, but...
Oh, just coughed it up there,
Yeah.
Danielson. So scrum just past halfway here for South.
Shouts from the forward pack, they don't want it. The typical psych them out of it
Yeah.
at scrum time.
Scrums have been real solid for South all game. Let's see if that continues.
It does. Well done,
They
South.
try a bit of a drive here.
Well done.
Grabenchikov now
Gosh.
kicks it off to the right, and he'll send it out of play.
Look, they're definitely going for that 22.
I think it's a bit of an option when that side of the field didn't really have much coverage.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but Port with the line out, just outside of the 22.
Look, South's come out in the second half as well, gone for the territory game. There's definitely a lot more kicks for the corners. Wouldn't surprise me if the coaches identified those gaps over the back of the winger's head. So I'm sure we'll see a lot of that this half.
So, good line out there for Port, taken in. Oh, there's a bit of a fumbled
gone back.
ball. It's gone back. It looks like an advantage here for Port Adelaide as well. Now just trying to rumble up past the 22-metre mark.
Yep.
Oh, and the penalty will come.
Straight off his feet.
Straight off
there.
his feet there, yeah. Discipline not really doing them any favours, South. Port have been let off quite a few times throughout the game due to poor discipline.
And look, it's kept Port in the game. And it's obviously what Souths don't want as the game goes on is keeping them in the game. And Port's one of those teams, you know, they love to play that island of footy of just throwing it around and fast breaks and kicks over their heads. So they've got to be really careful with the discipline side of things. Forwards have done well to keep the momentum going forward, and it's just about converting that into points.
It's been fairly decent so far, I'd say, for Port, considering. Contest at the line out, taken in by Port. Good job there, though, Cameron, to take it off the top.
Here we go.
Oh, here we go. Good run there from Carey. There's now Reynolds. To McCarthy.
Bit flat-footed there.
As Rowe rushes up. Now Reynolds is just assessing his options, slowing it down a little bit. Goes for the box kick over the top. Straight into the arms of Ronavuso.
What's going on here?
But a penalty for offside.
Again. This is really letting Souths down now. It's a crucial end of the game. The last quarter, we're probably starting to see into double digits for the offside penalty.
So an opportunity for Port Adelaide to strike off the line out, which has improved as the game has gone on. Well, as the second half has gone on, rather. Managing to get it off the top from Cameron. Let's see if they'll try again.
And look, other than the first 5 minutes of the half, they're finally back in here, so it'll be really good to see them convert this.
Off the top again, Cameron. Brilliant ball. As now here's Sagari running up and met by a solid South defence.
What is going on here?
Oh, another, and it looks like he's reaching into his pocket, a yellow card. Is it another offside penalty?
I believe it's just come on too.
So South down to 14 now. These penalties really starting to add up.
Oh.
It's like maybe a high tackle?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Just.
Oh. Solid defence from South. Now Reynolds goes blind to McCarthy. Given off.
He's running to his own guy.
Barrow just couldn't get it. And another penalty for Port Adelaide in the red zone. They weren't back 10.
South have really got to recollect themselves here.
Another tap and go. Sagari, coughs it up. South's been let off there. Those penalties were really starting to add up.
You can just see here,
He
tried to go for the offload.
Yeah.
But hey, props to the guy for trying. I think if he pulls that off.
Yeah, oh,
that's a nice
definitely
try
would
for the
make the highlight reel, yeah. About 17 minutes left in this second half. South looking to clear. They're 14 points ahead, so a relatively comfortable lead for them as Ronavuso clears it out of his 22.
Kandaro back here.
Kandara's back.
Ooh.
Oh, he's having a little look, has a
Here
little dance and goes. Kandara is met there by Gunasekara. They have a bit of a wrestle in midfield. Picking O here, and it's given off there to Monda. On another penalty, it's going to be off his feet there from Lidhams. There's now the tap and go by Reynolds. Kicks it past Gilmore. Who's going to get there first? It's Ronavuso. Oh, it's another penalty for South, and it looks like another yellow card. These penalties really starting to put South under pressure here.
It's a cheeky 9 move, isn't it? Just run into the guy while he's trying to retreat. Smart rugby. Well done, Reynolds.
Looks like Clough has been the one who's been given the marching orders.
This will be interesting. He's been really good for them. Has kept their backline steady.
As now the tap and go here for Port. Taken in there by Danielson. On a knock on.
Wow.
Knock on by South?
Not sure. He's called it.
Yes.
Is it a double?
Double knock on, maybe.
Let's see here. I'll take that.
Stanovic
No,
really
I don't.
trying to rip it. And he went back, and I think he might have knocked it forward as he ripped it. So, Port scrum. About 10 metres out. They've struggled at scrum time so far, but with a 2-man advantage.
There's only 2 minutes in between them too, so really they've got 8 minutes of 13 going up against 13. You would think Port would capitalise on this.
Looks like some changes for South as well. It's not a big 19's come up for Valera. Is that a good impact at number 8? You would say if Port can capitalise here and score some points, it's game on. As there's still plenty of time on this 2-man advantage.
Even with a man down in the scrum, they're still pushing them backwards.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But clean ball for McCarthy here as he's taken in. As Gavenchikov comes in for the counter and will take
Great
it.
counter from South.
Not enough support there for McCarthy. A real wrestle for the ball there from Ronavuso. As now South look to exit. And another penalty for Port Adelaide. The tap and go again from Reynolds. Tries to get it out wide to Hano. Poor passing here from Port. Now here's a Tuo. He's going himself back into midfield. Hopped off to Danielson, who makes a solid defence. Now Garden giving out to Matten. Now here comes Bauer. Bauer
Steps back.
steps one and take it in. Pick and drive again from Monda. Monda rumbling up the field.
Well,
Here comes
oh,
Monda,
he is.
and it goes over.
Oh,
Brilliant
he's called the
work
knock
there
on.
from Monda. Oh, but the knock on.
He's called the knock on. This will be interesting.
This will be interesting to see on the replay.
There's still about 6 minutes left with the 2 on the side, so
Monda went himself, saw the gap. Beat one. Fended off Gilmore. Got caught by Ronavuso.
I think it's there.
I think it's there where he's lost control of the ball. Really unlucky there for Port.
He'd be reeling with that one. Interesting. I would have thought that South still needed to field an 8-man scrum here. Oh, yep, they've still got one of the backs in at 8.
Now here's the shove from Port. That 2-man advantage really playing into their favour as now Ronavuso beats one. He's going to go himself. It's a real foot race here. Ronavuso beats the full, doesn't beat the fullback of Port. Handaro with some solid defence. He tried fending him off. He pushed himself into touch. And it looks like one's down for Port.
He's taking his time getting up. Must be an ankle or something.
Yeah. Doesn't look very happy about it either.
Great run. When you've got 13 on your team, that's all you need, isn't it? Just a bit of inspirational play. Gets them back into their own half.
And Handara's really feeling this one. He gets on his feet. Maybe just a bit of a cramp.
I usually feel that about, 5 minutes into the game, so he's done really well.
Yeah, he's lasted almost 70 minutes so far. So a line out for Port Adelaide here. Some exciting stuff from Ronavuso.
South's only gone for the 3-man line out, keep their numbers out the back.
I think they've got to match the numbers though on a defensive line out. Because it's a 4-man line out for Port.
Match or less.
Oh,
Goodness
scrappy
me, and
line
they,
out.
Scrambled that one.
South take it in. Now here's Gilmore. Giving out now. He's running up the field there. There's no Villarara. Now here's Taparos. Taparos really asking some questions of that Port Adelaide defence, as now here's Gilmore going himself.
Great hit there.
Good hit there from Sagari. And now it looks like it's a turnover for Port Adelaide. Brilliant work there from Port to get the turnover. Oh, and it's charged down by Grebenchikov, but it goes dead. The exit strategy from Port Adelaide didn't work there. Grebenchikov.
Great pressure.
Another product of the Souths juniors.
Got to give it to these Souths guys. I mean, 13 players on the field. They've gone from almost coughing up 2 or 3 tries to now attacking and about to get over themselves. They've done really well, and that's the stuff that, you know, builds a lot of character coming into finals footy. So really well done to Souths.
So it's going to be a 22-metre dropout here. 10 minutes to go. Here at Bailey Reserve. Oh no, maybe not. Yeah, it's going to be a scrum on the 5-metre mark for South.
Scrum 5.
Don't know what's happened there.
I don't know if the boys are pointing at the cameras, petitioning for them to do a review or something.
Commentators turn TMOs.
Yeah, exactly. Guys on the sidelines are gearing up.
A few questions being asked here on the sideline about the sin bin. There's now
Souths
South.
are missing their flankers. Oh,
Managed to
straight
hold
down
the
on that
scrum.
far side.
Now Grebenchikov. Out wide to
And
Ronavuso.
they've
Gives off to Arlo. Oh, he's coughed it up a few
Here we
times
go.
in crucial times. And we'll come back for the scrum.
Very lucky there. Never thought I'd say with South with 13 players that they would outnumber the back line. They've done well, but that last scrum, just with Port, just got to be really careful. They're down on the numbers on the scrum, but they're still buckling and dropping and getting a bit tired.
So it looks like one's come back on for South. So Port scrum. 10 metres out. It's called up by the ref. Just resetting the scrum here for Port. So Port's still got a one-man advantage. Ball comes in for Reynolds. Scrappy at scrum time, and the scrum penalty will come.
It's calling them standing up there.
I just need to see a replay on that one. Yeah, it looks like the hooker just popped up there.
Look, he's popped up, but I think also the tight head on this side, on the Port side, has probably pulled the wheel himself to. Oh, it's not gone out.
It's not gone out. Now Arlo's going to have a run.
What can he do with this?
Oh, just gets caught on the ankles there. Now ball out for South. Giving off to Grebenchikov now.
Numbers.
Now Ronavuso out to the wing.
There he is.
And it should be clean in. Brilliant work there from South. Gunasekara scores.
Well done to Delanka there. Surely you would think that just keeps it out of reach now.
Yeah, about 5 minutes once the conversion's been taken. That might have sealed the deal for South to keep their unbeaten record.
You can see here all eyes are on the inside. The shoulders are facing in. And all it is just the hands there. Keeping the numbers. Could have easily passed the 13, but he sent it out to the wing and Delunca gets the chocolates. Safe to say as well, Ronavuso's been big for them today.
Oh, yeah.
Keeping them on the front foot. Again, I've mentioned it a stack full of times, but with 13 on the field, to get them down here and to set up these tries and keep the momentum going forward for them has been really strong.
And conversion successful there from Ronavuso. Takes them out to a 21-point lead with 5 minutes to go here at Baylor Reserve. You would say that would be a deal breaker for Port to get something back here. Bonus point for South as well.
Host the subs for Port looking to come on.
Looks like Memoric's going to come on. Tuala and Say.
Bit of confusion here. Who's coming on and off, and it might be a case of a senior player just doesn't want to come off. I've been there before.
Looks like Sam Power has come off for Port. We're just waiting for these subs to make their way on and off the field. Referee seems to be happy and getting away shortly as McCarthy with the kickoff. Taken in by South cleanly, met by the Port defence.
Skipped 3 tackles there. Great run. Well, he's over the ball.
He's over the ball. And a good counter-ruck there from Port. On the 10-metre mark. Here's Danielson.
He's been good since coming
Grebenchikov
on.
rips it off him.
Commentator's curse.
And now here's another opportunity for South in open play. Back inside to Ronavuso. Brilliant pass. He'll grubber it forwards. Who's going to get it? Oh, brilliant work. I saw Ronavuso linking up with Save Ronavuso to put the nail in the coffin for South. Brilliant work in open play.
Once again, Save Ronavuso with the experience. It's crucial in these games, and he's really stepped up, hasn't he?
That all started from that rip ball by Grebenchikov.
Tricky inside ball. Those are hard to do for a piggy.
It's pretty on the dot as well.
Yeah.
And grab it through. I saw Ronavuso called for it. The bounce was perfect.
That's some beautiful rugby.
It doesn't make the kick easy for him either, does he?
Hey, look, he's slotted a couple of these from here. But you would think after today, Port really got to take a hard look at themselves after this game, and you know, having the momentum, having the 20-odd penalties in their favour, and
Ronavuso will just send this one to the right of the uprights. Score remains 36 points to 10 with 2 minutes on the clock.
They're saying 4 minutes on the field.
Oh, 4 minutes on the field. Yeah, I think Port has been a little bit disappointing. They look, going into half-time, they looked as if they could spur some sort of comeback on, but unfortunately they have let themselves down on a number of occasions. Souths as well have let themselves down as well a few times, but yeah, they've got to work on their discipline as now taken in. As Wiggett looks like he's come on at the 9 spot. Grebenchikov sends it over the top. Nahuto wants it. Oh, but a penalty, an offside penalty. Another offside penalty for South. As I was just mentioning, the discipline from South has been pretty poor today, and you know, if they're going to come up against some stronger teams, that's really going to cost them. But it's only early days, so as the tap and go here from Port Adelaide, Nahuto wanted it.
Oh,
now Reynolds giving off to McCarthy. Taken in.
Port have got to be really careful with that clean out.
Counter work from Stanovic, but doesn't manage to do much with it. And now Danielson goes himself. Cuts back inside. Meets Stanovic.
Loves taking them on head on.
Now the pick and drive.
They're really crumbling now, aren't they? You can see the lack of numbers in the clean out.
Oh, a big clean out there from Stanovic. Oh.
Look, it's
Oi, what's going on here?
Yeah,
This ball's flying, this
It's been
punch
a clean
is
game
flying.
all day.
Maybe just a little bit of frustration from Port Adelaide.
Look, I totally get it. I've been there before when you're a little bit tired, and just dipping to get that height in the tackle and the clean out is probably the last thing you want to do, because it takes a little bit extra breath, but really got to be clean with those.
So it looks like the referee's going to ask his linesman what just happened. So let's say about 2 minutes left on the clock. Port probably looking to get a consolation try here, build some momentum heading into next week. So next week for both sides, Port host Old Collegians and South make the trip up north to Elizabeth.
Look, those will be some good games. Old Coles sitting in the top 3, I believe, and after today should be staying there. And South will have a tight one against Elizabeth. They've had some strong showings this year already. So,
As we just take a look at the results around the ground, so I didn't mention it before, Old Coles did have the bye this week, and currently Brighton leads Elizabeth 33 points to 12, and Onkers lead Woodville 38 points to 7. As mentioned before, Burnside finishing victors over Adelaide Uni 34 points to 14. So it looks as if it might be a penalty for Port.
might be a bit of cheese.
Referee just having a chat here.
You got to give it to South, though. Like, I think growing up in the eastern states and then coming over here for the last 6-7 years, this has actually been one of the nicest landscapes to be able to just get a view of those hills and experience SA footy.
I'd say, well, yep, here's the cheese. Danielson.
Mate.
I would say, though, that probably my favourite ground for landscape has to be Barossa.
Barossa, definitely.
Just on that conversation as Danielson slowly makes his way off the field. So,
Been a bit frustrating.
penalty for South.
No, yes.
Oh, so he gave a penalty for Port, and then because of the bit of Arthur's, he's reversed the penalty for South.
He's let himself down a bit there. He's come on and he's had a lot of really strong runs. Coughed the ball up once, but overall I think it's been a really good injection for Port. But
so interesting to see what will happen here. South scrambling to the line out. Looks like Ashby's going to get it. Looks like the referee's blowed it down.
And that's off camera, but good to see the handshake from the two that have come off that were involved in that little melee before.
And South now down and drive off Ashby. Really making their way up the field now, South.
If they can keep this up.
Really strong maul here from South. The penalty advantage is there for them, and they will get it eventually. Looks like maybe coming in from the side there from Port. And so I believe that penalty was for coming in from the side of the maul. As Souths continue to make their way up the field in the last passages of play, but it's been kept in there by Reynolds.
It's crossed the plane according to the touchy. They're going for those for and against points.
So they're trying to get the quick ball here.
I think this will be time as well.
Ashby goes again for the driving maul, but it's taken down. Wiggett out to Gravenchikov. Back inside to Ronavuso. Strong hit there from Port. And it looks like it might be a turnover.
Well done.
Well done from Port there to manage to get the turnover.
Looks like they want to keep playing as well.
And he's coughed it up there. And will the referee blow for full time? Doesn't look like he will, so it will be a South scrum on this near side just outside the 22.
Surely you think this would be it. Great resilience shown by Souths this afternoon. I think that's going to take them well into the top 4 and keep them there for most of the season. If they can just keep this momentum going, the discipline is probably the thing that's let them down. And I think for Port, it's just, you know, there's a lot of unsafe passes, and their scrums obviously needing a little bit more work. But
as the short arm penalty comes for Port here as they go on the blind side. Oh, solid hit there. And it will be a yellow card.
One. I thought this was a clean hit. Three yellow cards for South. Let's have a look at this here. Effort with the arms. No, it's definitely
direct contact to the head. By the looks of it. There's now the tap here for Port. Here goes Kendara, who sends it long and wide, and Gilmore almost gets the turnover. A knock on there. And that will be full time.
Well done. Well done, South. Great game.
Another win for South, and they'll stay at the top. 3 from 3 so far for them in 2023. And they get the bonus point win over Port Adelaide. Strong showings from both sides. Obviously a lot of improvement to come from both sides, but solid performances all around. And as you mentioned before, because Port, a lot of those guys who are coming off the bench and even starting today, were playing in the reserves earlier on, a really strong showing for them, and only onwards and upwards, I'd say.
Yeah, it shows the importance of just getting your numbers out there and creating a good, stable culture. And I think South have done that really well over the years, and best of luck to them. I think hopefully they see the chocolates this year and can sneak through and bump one of those guys out of the 4.
So I think we'll sign off there. Thank you very much for joining us once again. My name is Carl Adler. I've been joined by Dave from Port Adelaide Rugby Club. We're going to sign off here. It's South defeating Port Adelaide 36 points to 10. Good evening.